I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. Welcome to the regular session of the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park. It is 7:30 p.m. We have a full quorum with all council members present. I'm calling the meeting to order at this time. Our first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on our agenda is the invocation. And I'm not sure who's handling that this evening.
Chaplain Walker.
Good evening, Chaplain Walker. How are you?
Good evening. I think I'm doing all right.
Great.
With Michael Phillips.
Wonderful.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir. The floor is yours.
Almighty God, as we gather tonight for this city council meeting, we take a few moments to remind ourselves and our fellow citizens that all natural life is dependent upon the light and the warmth of the sun. We also remind ourselves that our spiritual and social lives depend upon the light of your love. And we know that all civil life is dependent upon reason and good service in the name of compassion. The light, O Lord, calls us into question and demands a response of us to be honest, to be thoughtful, to be real, and to keep the light of love and compassion alive in all the moments and matters of our civil discourse. We focus our light right now on our mayor and city councilmen. In the light of faith, hope, and love, we give thanks for them as individuals and city leaders. Assist them in their thinking and reasoning tonight with clear thoughts, open thoughts, honest thoughts, and compassionate thoughts as they lead us in our quest for a more open and caring life in our city. We also lift up all the department head leaders of our city government. We give thanks for their leadership, and we encourage them to share the light of concern and compassion with all those who they have authority over. Because we could not get done what we need to get done without their leadership. We also offer a special thanks and gratitude for all who work in College Park on our behalf. Now, may the peace and grace that passes all understanding be the cradle of the light of our faith, hope, and love in our meeting and as we go forth to serve, to protect, and to defend the integrity of being a citizen and a guest of College Park. In the name of mercy and compassion, love itself. Amen.
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 The next item on the agenda is additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda.
Good evening, Mayor. I'd like to add 8I, which is the collaborative firm annual contract, with no changes, please.
All right. Any other additions, deletions, amendments, or changes? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept that change?
So move.
Okay. Is there a second? Is there a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. Item 3A, approval of regular session minutes dated June 7th, 2021. I had a change there, and I discussed it with Ms. Thornton this afternoon. Line 250 on packet page 12. It says Mayor Motley Broom said, I and your team. It should be you and your team. And just generally throughout the discussion about the Atlanta Airport District for Spin the District, Ms. Smoke's last name does not have an S. It is SMOAK. There is no S on the end. Any other changes to those regular session minutes?
I got mine in already.
All right. All right. Is there a motion?
So move to approve
All right. With the changes?
with the changes.
All right. Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Councilman Allen, heard you. I think you get split second there before Councilman Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes unanimously. Item 3B, workshop session from June 7th.
I move to approve as presented.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes unanimously as well. All right. Item 4A is a presentation of a proclamation to Madison Gardner, member of the College Park Favor House track team and the College Park Recreation Department program for outstanding achievements in athletics, academics, and community service.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. So we've got some proclamations this evening for track, and one is for Madison Gardner for outstanding. She has run track with us before, but she is running for Banneker High School, and so we've got a proclamation for her. She did fantastic as a freshman in state for a specific 400-meter race. It clocked at 54.59 seconds, which is fantastic.
Really fast.
Yes, really fast. So you want to read the proclamation? You absolutely can move forward there. I'm hoping she's on. It should be Miss Gardner on there. Madison's actually at practice. It was difficult for her to get away.
Oh my gosh.
So we
Okay.
were practice proclamation.
Well, let me go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas Madison Gardner began her track career at the age of 5 with College Park Recreation Department's favorite track club. At age 7, she began competing on a state level and placed in the top 8 every year until age 12. And whereas Madison Gardner was a member of the favorite track club, College Park Recreation Department 4x1 team, which set a state record that still holds today. And whereas Madison made her first appearance at the Junior Olympics in Virginia at age 9 and has competed and placed each year except 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. And whereas Madison Gardner has remained an honor student in Fulton County Public Schools throughout her track career. She has also been an active member of the College Park Youth Coalition for the past 7 years. And whereas she has completed over 100 hours of community service feeding the homeless and helping the College Park Housing Authority with area beautification projects. And whereas Madison Gardner holds the Banneker High School record for the 400-meter race with a clock time of 54.59 seconds. According to High School Track and Field Networks, Madison's 400-meter performance is better than 98% of Division I athletes when they were freshmen in high school. And whereas Madison Gardner is currently the highest-ranked freshman on the state and national level in the 400-meter race and is the 2021 5A Division 400-meter champion, member of the 4x4 relay champion team, and fourth-place winner of the 200-meter dash for the state of Georgia. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park recognizes Madison Gardner for her outstanding athletic, academic, and civic achievements, proclaimed this 21st day of June, 2021. Is Ms. Gardner with us?
Yes, I believe.
All right. Ms. Gardner, we're just so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm actually sitting here. I don't know if the video is showing me,
Yes.
but she is actually, I flipped it around. She's at practice right now.
She's actually running.
Yes, they just finished up. They just got a rest. They just did a 30-minute run. She's just doing her last bit of training that she will get before we proceed on to go to Eugene, Oregon to compete in the Nike Outdoor Nationals.
Fantastic. Well, do us proud. Just
Absolutely.
Just send her all of our well wishes and our love and all the luck. And I think our runners, they're fairly superstitious too, right? They've got their the things that they do.
Don't
And so-
say break a leg, do you?
no. I don't think you say that to rep.
I don't know, but
That's
we
theater,
I
Councilman Clay, that's theater. Yes. The mayor, I had Madison, I was fortunate enough to have her in our gymnastics program, and I begged her not to move on, but track is her amazing sport, but she was a great athlete as a gymnast too. So I even talked to Nicey regarding that. We miss her in gymnastics, but we are so excited to be supporting her and looking forward to what she can do in the future with her sport. So good luck.
Is that a video of her running, getting ready to run?
I believe Ms. Moore does have a video.
Yeah, that's the it looks like that would be the 400-meter race at the state meet in high school where she won.
Yes.
Tell her we love her.
Also wanted to thank
Final 100, 150, or do you try to get off to a really great start? We're underway. And the ladies 400-meter dash. Just a tremendous start from Madison Gardner from Banneker. And she's going to fly into the lead. So she's decided to use her speed at the start, and man alive, does she look to be pulling away over there in the backstretch. Now, what will be the result of that as we get into this third turn and then into the fourth in the backstretch? Two competitors starting to close in on her. Gardner will try to hold on to it. Boy, it looks like she might. If she can keep up this pace, it'll be a tremendous time, but now she's being closed in on. Jasmine Grin from Woodland of Stockbridge. She's got a chance to catch her. Don't know if it's going to happen. This will be close. Oh my. Gardner, I believe, held her off. Indeed, she did at 54.94 versus 55.09. Gardner, Grin, and Hester.
I don't think it was as close as the announcer said. She was in control the whole time.
Yeah.
That was very, very impressive. We are so proud of all of her accomplishments and the positive light that she shines on our community. So please relay all of that to her when she gets the opportunity to take a break.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to thank, College Park, the city itself, for providing so much things, positive things, especially athletics and recreation for children to do, because this actually starts almost at 1.5 years if you start with gymnastics, into 3 when you want to do like flag football or anything else. And I moved to College Park. I was from Atlanta, and just being that there was always something available for the children to do and different festivals, it just was always something so positive for kids and families to do. And that is how she found her love for track and field. Once she finished cheering, I was looking for something else for her to do, and we found track. And so this is where she found it at, right here in College Park. So we appreciate it, and makes us proud that she's able to do the things she do and set records right here in College Park.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
You're
we
welcome.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Our second proclamation is one to College Park Favor House track team for their participation and accomplishments in the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association state meet on May 7th and 8th of 2021 in Augusta. Let me go ahead and read that one. And then Ms. Johnson, the floor is yours. Whereas the City of College Park Recreation and Cultural Arts Department and College Park Favor House track team was able to have a successful track season in the midst of a worldwide pandemic due to COVID-19. Whereas the Favor House track team season ran from February 2021 through May of 2021, servicing over 60 youth. Whereas on May 7th through 8th, 2021, the City of College Park Recreation and Cultural Arts Department and College Park Favor House track team participated in the Georgia Recreation and Park Association Class A state track meet at Lucy C. Laney Memorial Stadium in Augusta, Georgia. Whereas Favor House track team had a total of 4 first-place awardees, 11 second-place awardees, and 5 third-place awardees in the Georgia Recreation and Park Association Class A state track meet at Lucy C. Laney Memorial Stadium in Augusta, Georgia. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park, the College Park Favor House track team is recognized for their hard work, dedication, and their accomplishments at the Georgia Recreation and Park Association Class A state track meet.
Yay. So we've got the track team together all at Conley Center. So we were not able to have our track season last year amidst COVID. So this was the first coming back, and we were able to send 32 people to state, which was amazing. And they did a fantastic job. So it was a great collaboration from the rec leaders and with the Willises and with the Favor House to get this program through and actually show out at state. So with GRPA. So Kirkland, do you want to say something since you're with the kids?
Are we on camera?
Yes, sir. We can hear you and we can see you. It looks like there's a little bit covering the camera.
You see me?
There you go. We see the kids.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, we have one of the athletes who wants to say a word.
Sure.
Noelle Boyd.
My name.
Take it to her, Kirkland, so we can hear her. Okay.
My name is Noelle Boyd, and I want to say thank you to the mayor and council for recognizing College Park's Favor success in Augusta, Georgia. We were proud to bring home many medals and athletes who pushed themselves to their personal best for the season. Being a Favor athlete takes mental strength, perseverance, and a lot of grit. I've never looked at Favor as just a track team. I've looked at it as a family, people who will always be there to help you overcome obstacles to your way to success. Coach Rex and Mrs. Willis give their all for this program, and seeing their level of dedication taken makes me want to step it up, not only on the track, but in life. And I just want to say thank you again to the mayor and city council for celebrating College Park's success.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, thank you, because your success is, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Willis.
Also, I'd like to add to that. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I know it's, everything was tight this year. Thank you, Mercedes and Michelle, Kirkland, Tanya, and Brian, so much for supporting the track program. I know things was tight this year, and we really appreciate it. It made a difference in these kids' lives. And also, congratulations to Madison. Madison started with us when she was 5 years old, and Sabrina used to carry around like she was her mom. So, congratulations to Madison for her achievements. And also, thanks to everyone, the parents, also who went and traveled down there to Augusta. And I do want to add this to Noelle. She just received, Noelle Boyd, who just read, is a two-time national champion last year in the multi event. She was the best in the country in the multi. And with favorites, last time with that on there. She won 6 state titles individually. She won 10 relays, and she was one of the ones that set the record with Madison. So she have had a great achievement with Favor Track. But again, thank you, Mayor and Council, for your support, and it's also the staff. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yay.
Fantastic. We're so proud of you and all of your achievements, and continue to make College Park proud. Thank you so much for everything you do. All right. So the next item on our agenda is the remarks of citizens. Ms. Moore.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The first citizen remark comes from Jesse L. Phillips, address 4124 Williamsburg Drive, College Park, Georgia. Starting my timer. And it reads, Dear Mayor and Council, I'm a senior widow who lives alone like many other senior ladies in my neighborhood. Often there are things that we need that we just can't do for ourselves. We get scam calls several times daily, and in just trying to take care of business, there are other scammers constantly trying to take advantage of us, and it makes it hard to trust contractors or servicemen in our homes. In our neighborhood, there is one young man that we can depend on, one of the city employees, who has made himself available to help several of us numerous times. If possible, I would like for him to be recognized for his patience, his professionalism, caring attitude, his respect for each of us, and for making himself available on weekends and after a full week of work to help many of us. In this day and time, this is highly unusual. We all feel very comfortable calling on him. I have called on him so many times since losing my husband, and he always answers and comes to see what I need. I have had to call him to check several things around my house to advise me on what I need to do or who I need to call, or sometimes he just takes care of the problem himself. Recently, I had an electrical problem where all of my outlets in 2 rooms were not working. I didn't know anyone to call except Mr. Hudson. If he recommends a person, company, or business to me, then I know I can trust them and they are not going to take advantage of me. Mr. Oscar Hudson is a very rare and unique young man, and he is very passionate and genuinely concerned about helping us. Some other ladies in the community who find Mr. Hudson very compassionate and helpful are Miss Marjorie Dent, Miss Carolyn Slayton, Miss April Wyatt, Miss Dorothy Smith, and Miss Barbara Garlington. We appreciate him and we need someone like Mr. Hudson. We appreciate him and we need someone like Mr. Hudson who cares about seniors and is willing to assist them whenever possible. He volunteers to help us and he has never asked for payment from any of us for anything that he does to help us. He is an asset to our community and the city of College Park. I hope you will consider my request to acknowledge him in the presences of peers. Thank you for your consideration. Sincere thanks, Jesse L. Phillips. Okay, the next comments are going to be live. Mr. Hicks, if you see Audrey Wilson.
Okay, stand by. No, I don't. I see Audrey, yes, stand by. Okay, Audrey, I just sent you a message to unmute your mic, please. Okay, Ms. Wilson, we can hear you now.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings, greetings and good night, everyone under the sound of my voice. My name is Audrey Wilson, and I currently reside at 2024 Simmons Avenue, Apartment B. I am here to give a rousing congratulations to a neighbor family of mine, Madison Gardner and her family. We are so proud of you, Madison. And I just want to say that I applaud the support that her family has given her. Her mother is there tirelessly supporting her. And we are so proud of you, Madison. Academically, athletically, as well as community service, she has risen above all others in her age group and has served as a mentor and someone to aspire to for the younger students here in our community. Again, we applaud her and we're very happy. I'm very happy to call them my neighbors. Continue flying and soaring, Madison. We have full confidence in you and we're here to support you all the way. My next comment is concerning the splash pad at Phillips Park, and I want to go on record as saying that I do stand in support of that. I feel like it would be a valuable asset, not only for Ward 4, but also for our city. And my last comment is concerning the possible sourcing out of emergency after hours electrical problems. I listened to the work session and I believe that we do need to take a harder look at the systems we already have in place and make sure that we are utilizing those fully, as well as what I did not hear was a cost comparison of sorts or a comparison of sorts. And I would like to hear that. So I encourage all my councilmen to vote no on that. Thank you. This is Audrey Wilson and I'm signing off with my byline. We are humans, we are neighbors, we are College Park.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Okay, our next comment is from James Carroll. Mr. Hicks, if you see Mr. James Carroll, you can let him in.
Okay, I don't see James Carroll. I'm looking here. No, James Carroll, sorry.
Okay, next is Whitney Flemister.
Wait, hold on 1 second. I think he is listed as Zoom user.
Okay, yeah, Madam Mayor, I'm very suspicious about that Zoom user because I can't identify who that is. And I see they have raised their hand. Do you want me to move forward with that?
He's saying that it is James Carroll. So
Okay.
I apologize about that and appreciate the help with that. So my public comment, first of all, thank you, Mayor and Council and city employees, for entertaining me for a few minutes tonight. I did want to talk real quick about curbside recycling. And I sent the council and mayor some data on this and my sources here, so I won't go and get into a lot of detail on that. But 13 of 15 cities within Fulton County have curbside recycling. College Park is the only city other than the rural mountain park. I mean, not mountain park, but Chattahoochee Hills. That does not offer curbside recycling in some form, be that private, public, or a choice of providers. Mountain Park, with 568 residents, does offer curbside recycling. And 73% of households in the United States have access to curbside recycling as of 2019. Of those households that have access, 72% of those actually participate in that access. And that includes both people who have to opt in and universal acceptance of that. And then in addition, there are grants available to help us procure cans for recycling or other items. Gwinnett County, as of a press release on the 14th of this month, received $100,000 for that. The city of Norcross, which is comparable to size of College Park, received $15,000. The sustainability initiatives that we can drive with this are big. It's really, when you look at the value of this, it is no longer an amenity to a community, but more of a necessary public utility. So anyways, in conclusion, I would hope that the council would push for a study or some kind of ability to further consider this. In addition, while I still have the floor, I wanted to say that I really thank the city of College Park power and linemen out there, because the service reliability I have over here off John Calvin Avenue is incredible. So I yield my time back. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Carroll. Ms. Moore?
The next comment is from Whitney Flemister.
Okay, Ms. Flemster.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to keep my comments short, or try to. I really don't want to say too much, as I kind of have some, I don't say disappointments, but I just feel as though there is not a lot of reflection of the words that you guys have behind you. I'm not seeing that represented within the city and within the mayor and council. Service, I feel like service in terms of the community, you're here to serve us as the constituency, respecting us as the constituency and amongst yourselves, showing respect. Innovation, when innovative projects are presented, they're not equitably distributed across the city. I do think that there is a lack of integrity amongst you all in terms of some of the things that are going on within the city. I am always open to meeting with you all individually or as a group to help the advancement of every area of the city. But right now I see a lot of things going on in the city in terms of projects and things, but it's not fairly or equitably distributed across the city. And when those things are in works or trying to make it happen, I don't feel supported. The lady or prior and recognizing, the track club, I was glad that they brought that up. College Park does have a good history of, being family oriented when it came to like the recreation department and trying to do a lot of things with the kids in the community. But I find it to be more recently more divisive. There's been a lot of negative light on the city, and the opportunities that we have to show positive lights, we're not doing that. And it's just, it really is a shame that we are focused more on, again, our own agenda or you all's agendas individually, rather than on our community as a whole. She also mentioned the splash pad. There's, the splash pad to me is taking quite some time to come to fruition. I'm not really sure why, when a lot of the project has been, basically a lot of the funding of the project has been basically gathered without much having to be given from the city. And even if it had to be a lot given from the city, there are other projects where the city gives willingly. And it's just, again, it's disturbing almost. Me being a person that is an advocate for healthcare and knowing the disparities that we have in our city because I am there working in hospitals in Atlanta, and I know where a lot of those things come from. It's from our area.
It's time.
Thank you, Ms. Flemister. Ms. Moore?
We have no others that signed in.
All right. If you did not sign up prior to the meeting and wish to speak at this time for 1 minute, you can go ahead and raise your hand. You'll have 1 minute to speak. That time cannot be yielded. And you only get 3 minutes. This is for folks who did not sign up prior to the time, prior to the meeting. So Ms. Flemister, I do see your hand up, but you had the opportunity to speak already. So is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Mr. Hicks, do you see anyone else?
No, Madam Mayor, I'm perusing the logs now and I don't see anybody but Ms. Flemster.
All right. And she had her 3 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and proceed with the rest of the agenda. If there's no objection, I'm going to take 6A, B, and C together. They are discussions and updates on the top 10 delinquent property taxpayers, delinquent utility customer accounts, and a utility assistance grant program update. Those all come from Ms. Flord Bradley. And so at this time, does anyone have any questions for Ms. Flord Bradley on any of those issues?
No questions.
All right, hearing none, we'll move on to item 6D. Consideration of an action on a request from Laster Chapel Church for approval to host a summer youth event on Saturday, July 10th, 2021 at Charles E. Phillips Park from 12 until 4.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Emma Dudley submitted a special event application to have a youth event at at Charles E. Phillips Park for Lasso Chapel Church to honor the graduates of the 2021 school year. And she's on the line if you guys have any questions regarding her application.
I do have 2 questions, but I will open up to the body first if they have any others.
I would like to know just what type of festival.
Councilman Allen, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. What type of festival is it going to be? Is it going to be music, games? Can you give us a little information about the festival?
Madam Mayor, would you like me to send?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Dudley, we can hear you.
Okay.
She needs to turn off her monitor.
Ms. Dudley, we are getting a little bit of feedback though. So if you have anything else on, like if you've got our meeting on social media or something like that, your voice may be coming out of more than one speaker. So
I don't know what I'm doing, but can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Yeah.
It's gonna be for like 60 years, we've always done something for our children in the form of a second Sunday of July, the second weekend in July, in recognition of being out of school and our graduates. So up until this year, we've done it, for the last few years, we've been invited to come to the event. We was invited by the Councilman Gay, and we were part of his plan. But this year, when I called him, he said that he was not doing anything this year, but so that we could recognize our graduates, and for the first time in a year and a half, our children will be coming back together. And this is the first time I will be getting out myself also. So that's what it's all about. We're gonna be having, recognizing the graduates, and we will have, we will give them from each grade, we will be presenting a gift, a certificate, or some type of a gift. Then we will have some games. Hopefully they can play in the park for a while, and then we'll have food, and that's it. Just in other words, it's our children getting back together again.
All right. Any other questions for Ms. Dudley?
Yes, I have a question for Michelle Johnson. I don't believe we normally rent out our facilities to non-residents of College Park. Is that correct, Michelle?
So based on our ordinance, it is reservations are for citizens of College Park only. So that is our policy. So that's why anything that would be on a special event that would need permit for those pavilions would need to come to y'all for approval for that. So you're correct. It is only residents of College Park that we rent for the pavilions.
So my question would be, if we rent out this facility, that means, I know the pavilions at Phillips Park are in high demand. I think Councilman Gay can probably speak to that better than I. But if we do rent it out, that means somebody in College Park who would like to rent it out can't do so. What's your opinion, Councilman Gay?
Okay, well, initially, I thought she was wanting to use the biter field. She had a Zoom meeting that I understand to use the biter field. And I think that was denied or was supposed to come before us. I don't know that her event is gonna, I really don't know, sir. I mean, I support her. She's a College Park native. She's one of the mothers and founders of the Coming Home Reunion. So they're always over there anyways. They've been here longer than any others have. She's co-chairs the Black History for College Park. So I didn't even know Ms. Dudley wasn't from College Park all these years. So maybe we could cut her a break, sir.
Well, I thought we Mr. Gay, we host you, our host, and you know. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, I thought we were in College Park. All of these years we've been down on Yates Road, I thought we were College Park.
Well, what happened was when we put that warehouse at White City Road, this is the church that was impacted, last of the chapter church. They probably think that because I led the charge to block the warehouse and this congregation stood behind me, and maybe that's why she thought that they were, but I just thought that it would impact us as a city, not as a ward.
Any other questions for Ms. Dudley? I have a question for regarding the hold harmless agreement. And Ms. Dudley, your relationship with the church, do you have the ability to sign on behalf of the church?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you hold a position?
I am on the trustee board.
Okay.
Plus, I'm coordinator for children activities.
All right. Just want to make sure that you can vouch for the church.
I can.
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I think I heard Councilman Taylor first. All right. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. I heard all four of you. That is unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. We have no public hearings this evening, so we're moving on to annual contracts. The first 6 have not changed, are all with Interim Chief Kuznacki. Is there an objection from the body for handling all 8A through 8F as one?
You just beat me to the punch, Mayor. I was going to suggest the same thing. I received the same information from Chief Kuznacki. There were no changes. It's a no-brainer.
Is there any objection on that?
No.
Hearing, all right, hearing none. Is there a motion to approve items 8A through 8F?
I move to approve those items.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that was all 4 of you. Thank you, gentlemen. We're on to item 8G, the city photographer.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Councilman Clay. All those in favor?
Aye.
And that's all 4 of you as well. That is unanimous. All right, item 8H, stenographer services.
Yeah, I have a, I guess what we're being asked, what are we being specifically asked to approve, Shavela? I had made a suggestion that we perhaps approve part of, or maybe all of, the cost of her upgrading her equipment. I was not inclined to approve an increase in the rate. You want to comment, Shavela, on that a little bit?
Yes, sir. After further discussion, it was agreed that she could be considered for the 2.5% increase that all city employees are going to be considered for next year.
So what would the amount of that increase then be?
Well, would that be something we would consider in January?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we would approve it at the going rate and then consider a 2.5% increase like the other employees are getting. I mean, even though she's not an employee, she's on contract in January.
Yes.
I will make a motion to that effect.
Okay, so the sum of the contract, the amount of the contract would be $17,318.08. Is that your motion?
What she's getting now, and then another, when that comes time, she'll get another 2.5% on that. But we would not pay for the upgrade of equipment.
Does everybody
But
understand
no
his
increase
motion?
at this time.
Correct.
Yes,
No,
no
there'd be-
increase at this time, right?
It would be
No increase at this time,
the
correct?
same yearly charge, $17,318.08. That is your motion.
That's my motion.
Is there a second? Yes, sir. Wait, hold on one second. Is there a second?
Second, I got a question.
Councilman Taylor, was that you who seconded it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead with your question.
Hello?
Okay, I was trying to figure out about the upgrades. Is this something that she gotta have to make us continue to do what we do, or can she hold off to January? Is what I want to know.
From my understanding, it is something that'll help her get the minutes out quicker and faster. She can operate now on the system she's using, but she hasn't had an upgrade in a few years.
Well, but as a contractor, that's her responsibility to come to the contract with the equipment that she wants. I mean, I was willing to do that versus the 2.5. I don't know that I'm willing to do both the 2.5. That we're in discussion now. I mean, there's a motion on the floor, but
correct.
That's where I'm coming from. I would do one or the other. I wouldn't be in favor of doing both.
Any further discussion? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, what I was saying, are we willing to not upgrade what she needs, and then in some capacity, we gonna suffer from that, right? If it's gonna take her longer to do what she's doing for us, even if we did half of whatever she's talking about. I'm just, let's figure that part out.
Councilman Taylor, that's exactly what I was thinking. But if you come to the job and you're a contractor, you have the tools and ability to do the job. And so I assume that if it makes it more efficient for her, she will upgrade her equipment herself. And that enables her to do more things, presumably for possibly other customers. I don't know whether she has other customers or not.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is item 9A, consideration of an action on a request to ratify the local fiscal recovery for non-entitlement unit award terms and conditions funding agreement between the City of College Park and the U.S. Department of Treasury.
I move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. That was unanimous. Item 9B, consideration of an action on a request for approval of the renewal of a federal lobbying services agreement between the City of College Park and the Ferguson Group.
Mercedes, what was that? There were no changes to the contract, right?
No, sir, there was no changes, and they've been very
Move to-
helpful.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Any abstentions? That is unanimous. Item 9C, consideration of an action on a request for approval of a service agreement with Interactive Utility Communications to provide call center services for on-call assistance for power outages at a cost of $19,600 for the first year for 400 minutes per month.
Well, based on the conversation that we had in the work session, I don't think we're ready to move forward on that right now. So I would move either to not approve it at this time or to just to take it off the agenda. It really should have been taken off the agenda, I think.
Okay. Is there a motion to table?
Table.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Heard all four of you there. Thank you. It was unanimous. Item 9D, consideration of an action on a proposed agreement between the City of College Park and BDO USA for a forensic audit of the city's payroll processes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request for BDO USA to review the beginning of the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2017 through fiscal year ending March 31, 2020. And I have Brian Myers on the phone who can address any questions or that you have as it relates to the agreement for the forensic audit itself.
Any questions?
I have no questions. We need to do it.
I think we need to do it. I have a question. He said, for additional tasks, it's $195 an hour that we're asked to do.
Who wants to answer that question?
Mr. Meyer, will you speak on that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I've got Steve Kuzma. If you could unmute his phone, he'll be the engagement partner representing BDO.
Got it.
Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity to work with the City of College Park. We appreciate it. The additional tasks would obviously be, put together in the form of another budget if something comes up that the city and or council or Dr. Baker would like us to address, depending upon what we might find as we undertake this. So that will not come into play until such time that we would, formally request an additional scope.
Okay.
I presume that you are not anticipating any additional tasks. Is that correct?
At this point, the only task that we've anticipated is what was laid out in the request for a proposal.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to move to approve.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I think I heard Councilman Taylor first.
Yeah.
All those, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Item 9E, consideration of an action on a request for approval of bids received for a splash pad Task 1 and Utilities and Site Improvement Task 2, build at Charles E. Phillips Park.
Good evening, Mayor.
Motion to approve with discussion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it with discussion.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Johnson, go right ahead.
So good evening, Mayor and Council. So we are bringing to you, hopefully, to move forward on our grant award with Cdbg for the splash pad at Charles E. Phillips Park. Excited about this. We've worked extremely hard on trying to getting these bids in. We had a 2-bid process, a task 1 and a task 2. Task 1 being for the infrastructure and for the site utilities, and then task 2 being for the actual splash pad. So we bid originally, and task 1, there was 1 bid. So we put it back out for a second bid with an itemized breakdown so that we can move forward and see what we could possibly work for itemizing those individual items on the bid. And the second bid came back even at a higher cost. So we worked a little bit trying to work within this 584, and this is what we've laid out for you is having Greater Southern Recreations do the task 2, which is the splash pad, and then the breakdown that y'all have seen for infrastructure and for site utilities to meet right at 584 for the grant award.
All right. Questions for Ms. Johnson?
Yes, I have a ton.
All right.
And I've asked them already. I've had a lengthy discussion with Michelle. I don't have a problem conceptually. In fact, I seconded, I think, the last time the motion was made in the approval process. I have a big problem with us having a money pit potentially with the splash pad that will be necessitated with additions or other issues. What I understand from my discussion, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, for one thing, we have had to downgrade one of the water features in the proposal. Is that correct? What we thought we were going to get several months ago is not quite the same as far as the water feature. Is that correct?
No, because what the RFP was actually exactly what we had originally quoted. Okay. Yeah.
So let me restate it then. What we thought we were getting when we started the process, we approved to go out for RFP. That's not quite the same as what we're getting. And of course, the cost went way up on the original estimate of the cost. The issues that concern me are that you had 2 bids. One was 300 and I remember 350,000 or something like that, and the other one was in the 500,000 area. And normally, when we have a contract with a significant difference percentage-wise in the bids that are being considered, because there are only 2 that are being considered, we ask the question, why so different? And what I would like to hear, and we discussed this a little bit, but what I'd like to hear, and I would like the council to hear, is why do we feel comfortable that the lower bid is so much lower than the higher bid, and it is still going to deliver the same specification that the higher bid has?
Yeah, I would have to refer to Willis with the RFP on.
Let me try this.
Mr. Myers, go right ahead.
So what happened with the higher and lower bid that you talked about? What we did, we took the splash pad people, and they just doing the splash pad itself, which is in task 2. And what we did, we split that out and we went out and looked at the site grading and the pavement and the sewer, and we put that into a on-call service. We asked our 2 on-call service. One of them was Kimmy, and the other one was 57 Construction 57. So with that being said, that's why we had become a lower cost on the overall, is because we came down there and decided to separate it. When one
Jackson, if you separated them, then why wouldn't that separation apply to both of those bids? If you took it out, if you took it out for one, why wouldn't you take it out for the other one?
Because the other one was the one that was the contractor that was actually certified, from my understanding, to do the splash pad itself, putting all the pipes in, all the electric that's in, all the fun stuff that they were putting in. That's why we had to keep them where they were, but we took out their grading and all their other stuff and just kept them centered on the splash pad itself.
So why didn't you go back to the second bid that was high and say, hey guys, if we take out the things that you can do, you are certified to do, but we don't want you to do them because we think we have a cheaper way to do it. Why didn't we bring that bid down then?
I can't really give you an honest answer. It's just that we negotiated. The honest answer, we negotiated with the lowest bid that we had. Instead of going up, because of the cost difference was so high between the lower bid and the higher bid, they would have had to came down tremendously priced. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Willis Moody did talk to them, but it was just such a high dollar amount. It was just no way we could get to the numbers we needed to. So we started with the lowest bid.
Well, I guess all I'm saying is, it sounds like what you guys are telling us is that you actually, despite the specifications, you got two different bids basically on two different statements of work. Because one statement of work includes all those things and the other statement of work doesn't. And then you take the split off and you have another contractor do the split off, if I understand that. Is that right?
From my understanding, the way you explained it, that's correct, because so we could get the numbers right to be able to move the project forward.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate your hard work on that. Now, the next comment I have is there were 3 items on your list. There was the ticket house, the storage shed on there, and then there was, I think, item of benches and
Site
shade.
furniture. Yeah, site furniture.
And shite, and none of those are being done. And I understand that the shed that was being built, or the storage area, which was, I think, 20 by 10 or something like that, that storage area was going to cost a couple $100,000, and that was taken out.
That was taken out because we discussed the storage, and we had, because of the shed was such a high dollar amount, we had other places that we could actually store the chemicals. We have well houses that are within the city that have plenty of room to be able to store the chemicals because of the type of materials that are in it. We have one on Columbia, we have on Victoria, we have several of them around. But plus, we can also there's some room at the both of the swimming pools. So we felt that if you had to pick up materials, then we just pick up the chemicals and load them up in a truck and carry them over there and add them as required.
Okay, so if we approve this for the $584,000, which is a wonderful grant from Fulton, and you guys have worked hard. I think Councilman Gay has worked hard on making that happen as well. So if we approve it for that $584,000, you guys are not going to come back in a year or 2 years and say, well, now, it'd really be a lot more convenient if we had a storage facility there. So we want to put $200,000 in the budget.
Well, I can't answer for the recreation and arts or culture, but as far as I know, that we have plenty of storage within the city itself that's already built. And just to build that kind of a building just out of convenience is not worth the dollar amount.
I think that was probably a good decision. Michelle, do you commit to not coming back to council and asking for that facility, at least while I'm on council?
Well, we need storage at all of our parks, so I can't say that. So I need storage for things at Barrett. I need storage at Charles E. Phillips. We are looking for it for the soccer fields. So I can't promise that. If there's a grant out there to do that, that I won't.
Well, if there's a grant, you're not going to get an argument from me.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to say. I will seek that out to meet those needs at all the parks, at Phillips and Barrett, because we're looking for that for storage for, we talked about having a gator, to help with the trash. So some things that we would need to help store. So, but I would look for other funding outside, hopefully for the city to do that.
Yeah, we're not looking for general fund money is what she's trying to say.
Okay, and the security camera is not included in there. That makes me a little bit nervous. That's probably on the order of $3,000 to $5,000, I would expect. Mr. Hicks could chime in, I suppose.
We talked about that. You're correct. We had about 7,000 for 2 cameras out there, but we talked about that we don't have any cameras at any of the other facilities. But we do. My understanding is we have other cameras that are within our preview that we could ask one of the council members if they would like to relocate one of their cameras to that site.
Okay.
If it required a camera, then they should be willing to give up one of their cameras at another location.
So bottom line is we can do it within $584,000. And although there's no contingency in here, so
there is contingency in
there is. We did put contingency on all of it, so we do have a 10% contingency included in this, and we could probably make it. If we didn't go into the contingency, it'd be 10% less than 584. We made sure we had contingency because no way we were coming back.
Okay. Yeah.
I have
you don't want to go through this again.
Councilman Allen. Hold on. Councilman Allen has the floor. Go ahead.
I have a quick question about maintenance, lifeguards. When we do have to buy chemicals and so forth, we're going to be charging people. How is that going to balance out?
So currently I do have, a setup for budget for all 3 pools for this fiscal year, which we did not open up, this half of the year. We're hoping will be open for next summer. Staffing would be part of the budget process for next year. Looking at those lifeguards for which, what we typically have for our lifeguards at the other pools.
Mm-hmm.
So, we would treat this as we treat the other pools, adding to that budget scenario. If that answers your question.
Yeah, we always knew there was going to be some operational cost for it. We bought into that when we approved going forward with it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at charge like we do.
I'm done.
Ms. Johnson, go ahead.
We would charge admission like we do at the other pools. $1.50 is what we've charged in the past, if that's what we want to do to move forward to at least some of that operational cost, which is not a lot, but it would be.
The other thing is you're putting kids to work, with lifeguards and other jobs around the pool. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and you don't have a ticket booth in there either, but now you're talking a small change at this point.
We can work around that with bands. We can do other things where they can register for a band and have a band for, there's some things that we can do that necessarily doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
And
all right.
Thank you for your perseverance, Michelle.
Next
and,
item.
And Councilman Gay.
I'm excited for the citizens and the kids. I think it'll be fantastic. So
be great for the kids. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Item 9F is consideration of an action on a request for approval of a 1-year contract extension for our AV services at the GICC. Ms. Cole?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. An RFQ was issued and the only company that submitted a bid was our in-house current company, which is On Event Services. So I would like to seek approval tonight to renew a contract with them starting July 1st for 1 year. We have a great rapport with On Event Services and our clients have a great relationship with them as well. So again, they were the only company when the RFQ was submitted that submitted a bid.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Cole? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Councilman Clay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. Have a great evening. We're on a new business because there was no old business. Item 11A is consideration of an action to review and approve a request for a conditional height permit for a proposed hotel. It is in Ward 2. I believe Ms. Washington is going to be leading this conversation.
Yes, this is for anybody who is not familiar with this property. We've been referring to it as the property behind the BMW Training Center. So it is in between Convention Center Concourse and Roosevelt Highway. It's a big piece of empty property right now, and there's a bus stop right there on Roosevelt Highway. If anyone's familiar with that, they're proposing to build a dual hotel at this location, and they're proposing a height of 84 feet. As we know, we need council approval to go over 35. They do have all their FAA approvals for each of the four corners of the proposed hotel. So we are recommending approval for the height permit.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Washington?
If the FAA is happy, I'm happy.
Okay. All right. Mr. Councilman Allen?
I just had one question. It looks like there's parking underneath the tram to the rental car center. Do we have to get approval for anybody to put that underneath the tram? The parking?
Yeah, actually, Gary Young is way ahead of you, Councilman Allen. He already has.
Always is.
He has the city attorney looking into that to make sure that we meet all that correctly. The agreement does state that surface parking is permitted, but that was an agreement between Vida, who's the previous owner of this property. So we do want to make sure that that still transfers over. Now it's under private ownership. So they're working together. The attorneys are all over it. I imagine we'll hear from them soon on that.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Any other questions for Ms. Washington? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Councilman Clay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. Item 11B is consideration of an appointment for a Ward 1 College Park Board of Zoning Appeals member.
Yes, my nominee for that position is someone well-known, Eileen Murphy. And she has graciously agreed to serve out the remainder of Fritz Engelman's term. And I would like to publicly thank Fritz for all the many hours that he has spent in working with that group to do things that touch us very directly when we want to make changes on our property. So that's my candidate, and that's all I have to say.
All right. Is there a motion to approve her?
So moved.
All right. Is there a second? Thank you, Councilman Gay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. I saw all four of you say aye on that one. So that is unanimous. Item 11C, consideration of an action on a request for approval of the utility credit resolution for fiscal year 2021-2022. Don't think there's any change on that. Yep. All right. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
I'm sorry. Was that you, Councilman Gay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. That is unanimous. Item 11D is consideration of an action on a request for approval of changes for the Hawks basketball court rules and operational policies.
Evening again.
Hello, Ms. Johnson.
So, Shavela, can you put the presentation up for me? Great. So this evening I wanted to come to y'all and just talk to you about the Hawks basketball court. And we've had some community discussions and some possibility of doing some rule changes. So I wanted just to bring the issues and concerns, the current hours of operation, proposed hours of operation and current rules, and then proposed court rules. Next slide, Shavela. So issues and concerns have been age of play and hours of operation, noise, vandalism, and safety concerns. Next slide, please. Yep, so currently, our age of play is currently 16 and under is allowed to play on the court. And we've had several requests and reached to both the department and I think to the city manager to look at this option of probably having the court open to all ages to include adult play. So our recommendation is to, change a policy to open the court to all ages to include that adult, all ages from adults through, children through adults. So next slide. Hours of operation, requests from citizens for more hours, days, and times. Requests for open on Sundays and requests for morning hours. So we're recommendation is for Monday through Saturday to have some consistent openings, 9 to 7. Close on Sunday is what we're recommending due to increasing hours of operation. The recreation facilities will not be open on open on Sundays with consideration of the citizens' close proximity to the court. So next slide. Noise, citizens request to not have the court open. If it was open 7 days a week, they'd be living next to the court and having ball play, children play, and loud noises on Sunday. So we were considering having a no play day for that. So basically doing those hours of operation on Monday, Saturday, 9 to 7, and closed on Sundays. Next slide. Issue and concern was vandalism. We did have some issues with damaging the fence, kids absolutely breaking into play, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but we've had some costs during COVID with repairs. So of course we want people to play that want to get into play and not have to climb over the fence or to climb under the fence or break the fence to get into play. So those were our concerns with that. So next slide. Safety concerns, we had an incident with a weapon. This was back in when the court just recently opened. So those were some of the concerns when these hours and times were put in. So we're looking at doing a presence along with the recreation staff for monitoring and overseeing the courts with the police. And we've talked with chief and worked on doing that so we could just have some more presence there to help with possibility with safety concerns. Next slide. So our current hours are currently Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 8, Saturday from 10 to 6, and closed on Sundays and closed on holidays. And so we do have a monitor that works specifically on the court on Friday evenings and Saturdays. So that's what we currently have it. Next slide. So we're looking at proposing having a consistent time, 9 to 7, closed on Sundays, closed on holidays. Recreation staff will open it Monday through Thursdays and open on Friday, but would have the monitors close on Fridays and monitor on Saturdays is what we're looking at for those proposed hours. And then our rules, basically the court rules we have, these are our current rules. I don't know if you want me to go through them, but proposed rules would be the next slide. We're basically pretty much the same, but capacity limit as we were adding at 50, welcoming all ages, not just 16 and under. Added our rules here. I think we had added
half court play.
That's right, half court play where we'd have adults on one side and children on the other side, where there's new things, and then a 1 hour limit if people were actually waiting to give.
So we held actually I chaired 3 meetings on this. We had really good discussion. I think we've come to a reasonable compromise, and the half court play rule enables us to actually have 4 courts going at the same time.
So those were the new proposed rules. Major rule being time change with a consistent and all ages being added, and some additional, just trying to make sure that we give recognized play for the kids out there. So next slide. And so the questions, excited about this. We do feel that we need to open and close just for the surrounding community. And we can start there, but that's what we've got proposed. If there's any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Johnson?
Not at all.
If approval is needed, I'm going to move for approval on. I wanted to bring this back to council because I remember in the beginning, I had to work very hard to sell the idea of the court to mayor and council. And we were able to do that, and we made certain promises to the network neighbors, and we distributed flyers to all the neighbors within about a 2-block area on either side of the court there. And so everybody's had an opportunity to give input. We've discussed the input. I think we've come up with a reasonable compromise. And if we have issues with it, we can look at it for 90 days. And if we have issues with it, we'll make adjustments. So, and who knows, we might increase the hours or decrease the hours or whatever. But I think it's fair to try it. I think the neighbors are okay with it as it is. I mean, as with the new rule changes. And so if approval is needed, I'll make the motion.
I don't know that, I mean, this is a strictly operations
it's an
thing,
information.
Right. So I think this is a informational, and if we can just keep in mind, Ms. Johnson, come back in 90 days, let us know how it's going.
Absolutely. I know the adults in the community will be extremely excited to know that they can utilize the court too. So advocate for recreation for all. That's what we want to do and enjoy. Makes my heart full to see people out there playing. So I think it's a great step forward.
Any other questions for Ms. Johnson? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. City Attorney's report.
I have no report this evening, Madam Mayor.
All right. Thank you. City Manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and constituents. I'd like to thank the constituents for hanging in there with us through COVID and through new technology. And beginning July 19th, we will be having our meetings live again in the council chambers. So thank you all very much.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Miller. Report of Mayor and Council. Councilman Clay.
Okay. Well, I had a couple items. The first one being curbside recycling. We heard public comment on that tonight, and both the mayor and I responded to the gentleman on his original request, and heads up that he was going to bring it up at council meeting, and I appreciate that. Before Mike Mason left, he and I had been going back and forth and discussing different ways of doing it. It had come to council, I think, a couple times, and I think we'd pretty much settled in that it is not self-supporting to have recycling. In other words, you're just not going to make the sales on the glass or the cardboard or whatever is recyclable. And in fact, some cases you actually have to pay to get somebody to take it, even though they're going to not dump it in a landfill. They're actually going to make it into new paper or new glass or what have you. So I would suggest that we pursue private recycling for those who want it. I think we had good feeling that many people don't want to reduce the services that we have now. We talked about maybe only having one pickup a day. If we went with curbside recycling and we provided it, we'd have to buy a new truck. There's a proposal for a dual driving capability truck where you can drive on either side, and you don't want it to crush the whatever you recycle. So what I'm going to suggest, and I don't know whether we need to make a motion on it or what, but I'm going to suggest that we look into getting a private service to pick up the recyclables, to work out the agreement with our citizens. I don't think it needs to come through the city. I think we don't normally allow a private company to come in and do things like that in the city. But we're not really talking about that many jobs. So it's not that much loss of advantage to being able to hire our neighbors to do some of this work. And I think it would be much simpler if we just let a private firm come in and do it, and they can contract for whatever they feel is a reasonable amount. And the people that really want to have curbside recycling and are willing to pay for it to save the environment and don't want to go up to the I would suggest that we keep the recycling centers open. I personally am going to keep going up to the recycling center. I'm not going to pay extra to have somebody pick up my recycling on the curb, but that would be my proposal to council, and I'd like to hear some response on that if we could, Mayor.
Certainly. I can tell you in my own house, there is a divide because I'm willing to pay for curbside recycling and my husband's willing to go to the recycling center. We've had this conversation. So I'm happy to hear the thoughts of the rest of the body on this.
I think it's a good option. I think, you know, you have the option of taking it up, or you have the option of using somebody and have them come to your house and pick it up and pay for that. So you got two options, or you really have three, or you could just say, hey, I'm just going to put it in the trash, which I wish everybody would not do. But, you know, use the recycle as much as you can. Try to save the planet. So then they've got some options.
Councilman Taylor, Councilman Gay, thoughts?
I think we got to think a little bit about it, because we had some private companies that come in our city with big trucks that we already have in the city. We got accountability of the guys that have a rake in our city or tab a sidewalk and stuff like that. When you bring a whole nother recycling company in, you got to kind of watch those guys. You know what I mean? And I know it doesn't make sense for us to do it in-house because of the money and other trucks and stuff like that. But you just got to, you know, like I say, you got to watch the guys when you let them come in driving the trucks, and they go in different cul-de-sacs and, you know, break the road and stuff like that. The city still got to pay for that if we don't catch them.
Is this something that we should send an RFP out for?
I think we should think about, you know, think about it first. That's what I think. More discussion about it.
Okay. All right. Possible to get a little bit more information and talk about it at the July workshop?
Yes, ma'am. All
right. Okay. Does that work for everybody?
And I would suggest that if we did do a pickup, we could do it on Wednesday, because that's the day when we don't have any, normally we don't have any trucks on the road.
That's yard waste day.
Our sanitation teams are busy every day.
Yes, they are.
They're hard at work every day. So well, let's get a little bit more information and have a conversation at workshop in July. Sound good?
Okay.
All right.
And I had one more item, Mayor. Parkview Drive. Jackson, you and I haven't discussed this. I should have given you a heads up for the meeting. I'm sorry I didn't. But there's a tree root issue on Parkview. And you guys have gone out, and your guys have gone out and they shaved down the road in that area in preparation, I presume, for patching. But they have not addressed the humps where the tree roots have pushed up and created some severe bumps in the road there. And I think I'm not a public works person, I'm not a civil engineer, but just looking at it, I think the only way you're going to solve that problem is to dig down and remove those tree roots. Now, it may kill the tree, it may weaken the tree, I don't know, but I think that's the only viable solution. What can we do to make that happen? Is it, again, I apologize for not bringing it up in advance, but is it our tree or the homeowner's tree that
I
we'd
went
be
out
cutting?
there. Yes, the tree roots went out there, and yes, and Raymond Cott went out there with the crew, as you could see, and they tried to shave down some of the asphalt in that area. I drove down it. It didn't seem so bad now as it was in the past. But I won't go by at 50 miles an hour. I'll slow down to 5 or 10 and go through there for you.
Okay. Well, the people.
But I did put a speed
they,
limit sign up, so out there.
Well, no, hey, no, there's an interesting idea. What if in that location, we put a speed cushion?
Well, that's a very very good idea, but right now I have a funding problem.
Well, is it going to cost you more to cut the tree roots or spend $3,000 for a speed cushion?
The materials for the cutting the street are readily available, and
I'm talking about
do
labor
that
too.
in a very short period of time. The speed cushions, we'd have to order them and get them in here and then schedule, and it's just much quicker response time.
Okay. It just seemed like a win-win. Everybody would be probably happy about having a speed cushion there. Anyhow, okay.
Well, the
all right,
roots
well,
kind of was a speed cushion too, you know.
You could do an
yes,
asphalt
except
type of
what
speed cushion.
what they tell me is they drive on the other side of the street when they're heading toward Rugby. They drive on the left side of the street there, on the west side of the street.
West side.
So that's a hazard. That's a hazard, road hazard. Okay, that's all I had.
All right,
Let's look at that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Clay. Councilman Taylor.
Yes, I think we should do some type of work session on our ordinances. I was able to talk with the judge briefly one day last week. We got a lot of ordinances that we already been enrolled, and they so old to where when our code enforcement go out and try to enforce some of the codes, we don't even have nothing on the books in order for them to get the opportunity to say, well, we want to write a ticket for this or a ticket for that. I think we might need to get like our attorney, the code enforcement officers, and some of the police officers that see that every day, and we should have some type of work session. Because like I say, believe it or not, it's a lot of ordinances that out of dated. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on that it's bad for our code enforcement when they write something up. And then it's a real gray area with the judge. You know what I mean? So I think that we got to look into that and, you know, try to make it better for the people that's doing the job for us.
I'll say amen to that.
Absolutely. I think it's probably going to take, I think a lot of that's probably going to have to be sort of committee work and diving deep into that. And so that might be a longer term project, but perhaps Ms. Miller, if you might be able to start assembling the folks who need to be part of that conversation.
We would do it.
It's like I said, I definitely think that that's going to be the most important part, getting the right people in the room. You know, the people, like I say, the code enforcement, they're doing it every day. And when I talk to a couple of the code enforcement and Lieutenant Wilson, they make a whole lot of sense on some of the stuff that they want to do. But we got to, you know, we just got to make the policy, so to speak, forward. But I think if they're in the room, they can kind of direct us the right way.
Great.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. We will include them.
Right. That's all I have.
All right. Councilman Allen.
I was talking to Gerald Cadis the other day, who has a lot of contacts in the military because he was in the military for a while. And he mentioned a proposal. He said, you know, if we looked at Fort Benning, where people are getting out of the military, you know, we might be able to fill some of the police positions we have, fire or engineers or other positions. So, you know, maybe if we touch base with, you know, some of the military bases around like Fort Benning, we might be able to get some recruits that are just married, want to stay in the state of Georgia, and you know,
good idea.
They're good folks. I want to thank Jackson Myers for the job that he's done this over the past few weeks. He has had about 3 or 4 hats on all the time, and I appreciate it very much, and the citizens do too. I've heard a lot of very good comments, so thank you very much, and that's all I have.
All right, Councilman Gay.
Good evening. I just want to take this time to personally thank a few people. I hate thanking people because you always miss someone and then you get in trouble. But as you know, I lost my older brother last week, and it was just so uncertain, was unexpected. But what I noticed and what is even on my heart tonight is the love by so many people. Even those that didn't contact me, I'm sure they still was empathetic. But Chaplain Walker, he sent me a beautiful text. Pastor Chaplain Dent, she came to my repast dinner and she gave my family a small check. Miss Phillips, she sent me a encouraging text. Coco Bright and Oscar Hudson came by my house and brought a plant and a card. Colonel Block and Deputy Chief McCrary's actually came to the viewing, and Colonel Block actually came to the homegoing service. Councilmember Clay and his wife came to my brother's viewing. Hugh Richardson called me with some kind words. Ken Allen, Councilmember Allen sent me nice texts. Customer service billing. Mayor and Council Wanda, Miss Miller was just amazingly graceful. She helped me get through it initially. I looked next to my brother's body and I see 3 plants from the city of College Park, and just that alone made me feel like maybe this work ain't really in vain. And I went to my office and I took some mail, and I didn't even realize. I said, well, I think I got a few more cards, but I'm here in Ole Miss with my daughter, and I brought my cards, and that's the most beautiful card I've seen. My wife agrees. It's from our mayor, and I just want to thank and then y'all for such a beautiful thing. Our city attorney family sent a card, so I could just go on. But anyways, that's it. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Bless you too. And as I said, we are thinking of you and your family during this time and wishing you comfort and peace. We are taking a break until July. We do not meet the first Monday in July for the July 4th holiday. So the next time that you will see us will be in person back in council chambers. And I know that we're all looking forward to being in the same room again. You have a couple more days to get vaccinated at the GICC. Please go ahead and do that. It is so incredibly important as we get back on this road to normal and moving our city forward with all the great things that we have on the horizon. It is so important that everyone make sure that they're doing everything that they need to do for their personal health and the health of the community. So we would urge you to go ahead and take advantage of that. Fulton County will be moving out with mobile units throughout the summer to reach communities and populations that have not taken advantage of some of the fixed locations. And so as we know about that, well, we will certainly inform you as well. And Mr. Walker, and I'm sorry for putting you on the spot here. We have a contest going on right now, correct? With iNotify CP. I think through
correct.
Is it through June 23rd?
Yes.
All right.
We are continuing to, we put a video out at first, and over the weekend, we put some reminders. We showed some pictures, some examples of what people could in fact do by downloading the app and then taking a picture. So and you'll see another one of those tomorrow because we're kind of rounding up kind of close to that deadline. So we like to continue to do everything we can to encourage those folks to download the app.
That's right. We have, if you download the iNotify CP app and take a photo and upload it and let us know what's going on in the city, you will be entered into a drawing to win 2 tickets to the Atlanta Dream. So take advantage of the fact that we want to know what's going on in the city, and you can go see a great team play basketball in our arena at the Gateway Center. And if you have not been, the Dream is there. They are playing. It's a fun environment. It's fantastic, and I would encourage everybody to head on out because it's right in our backyard. So that's all I've got. I know that we need to approve our executive session minutes. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Clay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's all 4 of you, and that was unanimous. I don't think we have any other business to handle. So thanks, everybody. It is 9:04, and we are adjourned. Have a great 4th of July holiday.
Have a good time off.